Alright guys, welcome back to Nifty Network. Today we have a 350Z in here today, and I'm going to teach you how to remove your steering column switches. Sometimes these break. Yeah, let's get to it. I'm going to teach you how to do it. Make sure that your battery is disconnected. So there's two little plastic covers right here. You're going to pop that off of each side. It looks the same on this side. So we'll pop that off, and then this is actually a safety Torx that is holding that on. And let's see here, did I grab the right one? So it's a T30, and what makes it a safety Torx is the center of it is actually hollow because there's a stem, or like a little stud right there, that the tool has to fit in. So we'll get that. We'll get my little adapter on there. And these strip really easily, so make sure when you're doing this, you have the tool going straight into the bolt. There you go. And here you can kind of see it a little better now. So see how it has the center like spike or stud, whatever you want to call it. These are also Loctited. That's why it sounds so aggressive coming out. So that side's done. And now this side, same thing. Pull that out. And that's all that holds the airbag on. So you're gonna pull this back. And I like to rotate it like this, just so you can kind of see the cables in there. They got hooked on that little tab right there. So we'll move this way. And then I get a pick, and before you do this, I'll say it again, make sure that your battery is disconnected. And on the orange plug, there's a little opening right there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little opening. I'll push the pick in there and then just walk that back up like that, and then I'll get under it with the pick and pop that off, and then go to the yellow one. It doesn't matter if you do yellow or orange first. And then once that's released like that, just pop that up. And there you go. All right, so now that we have the airbag off, make sure that the two leads that go into the airbag are out of this little slot right here. We're gonna move this wire up, and then I have a pick. I'm gonna push on the little tab right there, and then that gets unplugged. And then we'll move this back down right there, and we'll grab a 19. So what I like to do is hold the steering wheel so that it doesn't shake and vibrate on you. Break that loose and get it so that the nut is still on there. And the reason I say that is so that you keep your teeth. And what I mean that is, I've been pulling on these things before and then they finally give. If it's really hard, so like this one's really hard, I'd for sure smack myself in the face with it. So it's not coming off. What I like to do is I'll pull on the bottom. It doesn't matter, bottom, top, wherever. I pull on this side, and whatever side I'm pulling on, hit on the opposite side. So just tap it there, and then it will come loose like that. So I left the nut on there so that when you're tapping it, it doesn't pull super hard in case these hook on anything. So now that that's off, it's released off the steering shaft, you can kind of just slide that off. And you can also put the two leads from the airbag through that hole. And the reason you do that carefully is because this is your clock spring, and that is very, very sensitive also. And this is just for install purposes. This kind of like a little side note. There's a hole right here, right there. That guy, make sure when you're putting your steering wheel on, there's a line on the steering shaft, and then there's also a line in your steering wheel. You want to make sure that that lines up with that, and that also this little nipple right here lines up with that hole. But you can't really see that hole unless you look at an angle at it. So just make sure that that is lined up with that, because I'm assuming if you're taking your steering wheel off, you're going to be putting it back on. So all right, so on to the next part of this. You gotta get a Phillips head screwdriver and the adjuster right here for your steering shaft. I open that, and then there's a hidden Phillips head in there. You kind of just feel around until you get in that hole. And so I felt my screwdriver lock in there. So we'll start loosening that. There's one in the front right here and right there. And then there's one in the back still. So we'll do the back one first. So there's 4 total. Sometimes they get stuck in the plastic. If you can feel that it's really loose, it'll come out. There you go. And then this one's a little easier to get to. And when I pull this piece off, I'll show it to you better. All right, so now we have all those screws off. You're gonna want to get a little flathead right there and just stick it in between this ring and then turn it sideways. Don't pry super hard because it'll come off and you don't want to break that. So that comes off, and basically what holds this in is it's like a tapered fitting, so it's just pressure that holds that in. And then we're going to come up to here and just kind of push down a little. If it's too tight, don't force it. We'll go on the left side right here with a flathead, and we'll just pop that loose on each side like that, and make sure it's released on there, and then you should be able to just pull down and it'll come out. So there you go, the 2 screws that we were finding earlier. This is where that adjuster handle is. It's actually hidden. It'll sit, the handle sits right there, so you won't see it unless you know about it. So there's one there, there's one there, and there. So 4 total. To get the speedometer removed, we got that piece off of here, and then we're gonna grab a 10mm. I like to use the 10mm wobbly. This guy is my favorite thing. And you're gonna see 4 bolts going up. There's one there. Sorry if I'm blocking you. And then there's another one there. Then we'll go to the other side. All right, so now we are on the driver's side of the car or the steering column. You're gonna see 2 10mm right there, and I got my tool on there, and you're gonna loosen that off. There's one. Let's get that out of there. And then there's another one right in front of it. Okay, so that is out now. So now we have all 4 of those out. You're gonna lift straight up on this, and if it's binding, push that down, and then this will come out, and there's gonna be a cable on the back that we will undo. All right, so once you have that released, I kind of just rock that forward, push that tab, get that out of there, and there you go. All right, so now that we have the speedometer off, we can work on the turn signal and these little guys right here. So there's 2 tabs on these, and if you press them, you can actually pull these out like that. A lot of people don't know that these can be removed, but you can. So yeah, if you want to unplug it, this has a little base. If it's like fixed to what you're trying to unplug, it makes it easier. And there you go. That is how you remove your windshield wiper and turn signal controls.